everyone, welcome back. Indialorai here. So today guys, I'm gonna show you how to fill out the form DS-160, especially for K visa applicants. This is actually a request by one of my friends back in the Philippines because finally guys, she got her interview schedule at the Manila US Embassy. So her case was approved last December 2019, and actually they had an interview scheduled last March 2020, but it was canceled because of the pandemic. And now she said that they received an email from the Manila US Embassy of their interview schedule. So I'm so happy for her, guys. That means that the Manila US Embassy is already working on K visa applicants. So I hope this video will help you a lot, and let me know if you have questions.
So first, in the search bar, let's type in DS-160 form. So you can actually find the DS-160 form on either siac.state.gov or travel.state.gov. So let's click the one that's on the top, which will give us a direct access to DS-160 form. So this is what the page looks like: U.S. Department of State Consular Electronic Application Center. Next, we will start by selecting a location where you will be applying for the visa. So Philippines, Manila. And then we have to enter the code as shown below. And take note that this visa application will ask you to upload a digital photo of yourself, not now, but later. And we will start by tapping the Start an Application button. Next, Computer Fraud and Abuse Act notices. So read that if you have time, and if you agree, just tick the box, I agree. Next, application information. This is your application ID. Please write down this application ID on a piece of paper. If there are technical issues with the system or you want to complete your application some other time, you can save your work and later start where you left off. Next, it will ask a security question. So be sure to remember your security question answer, or you can write it down on a piece of paper. Both application ID and security question answer are needed to access your application later. Click continue. And for the personal information one, this is all about the alien fiance. First, surname and given name of the alien fiance. Then full name in native alphabet. This does not apply to me. Have you ever used other names? No. Do you have a telecode that represents your name? No. Sex, female. And marital status, single. And the date and place of birth of the alien fiance. So please don't forget to click the save button before moving on to the next page. So you won't lose your information if there will be any technical issues. You will still be able to go back to where you left off. Click continue application and proceed to the next page. Personal information 2, again, this is all about the alien fiance. Country of origin, Philippines. Hold or have held any nationality? No. Are you a permanent resident of a country? No. National identification ID. So this does not apply to me. Then US Social Security number does not apply. US taxpayer ID number does not apply. And then don't forget to save before moving on to the next page. Next, travel information. This is the travel information of the alien fiance. So for the purpose of trip to the US, that would be fiance or spouse of a US citizen, and specify. So you have to select if you're a fiance, a child of a K1, a spouse of a US citizen, or a child of a K3. But for this one, just as an example, I'm gonna choose fiance of a US citizen. And for your application receipt petition number, this can be found on your notice of action letter. Next, have you made specific travel plans? If you already bought a ticket, then click yes. And then provide your information here, date of arrival in the US, arrival flight, and arrival city. But if you haven't bought your ticket yet, which I strongly suggest until you have your visa, then you have to put your intended date of arrival. Now, this is just an assumption. You don't really need to follow this date. Next, address where you will stay in the US. So this is going to be the address of your fiance or US petitioner. So next, person or entity paying for your trip. So that will be either you're going to pay for it or your US petitioner. For this one, I'm going to choose the US petitioner. And that's it. And please don't forget to click save. Let's move on to the next page, travel companions information. So please read this note on the side. This is going to be very helpful. If you're going to travel with your US petitioner from the Philippines going to the United States, you don't need to click yes, just click no. Next, previous US travel information. This is still about the alien fiancé. Have you ever been in the US? No. Have you ever been issued a US visa? No. Have you ever been refused a visa? No. Has anyone ever filed an immigrant petition on your behalf? No. Next, address and phone information of the alien fiancé. So, the alien fiancé's home address in the Philippines. Next, is your mailing address the same as your home address? That will be yes for me. And then phone number, primary phone number. And then if you have a secondary phone number, you can fill this out. If you don't have, then just click does not apply. So if you have a work phone number, you can also put that in here. So for example, I have a work phone number. So I'm just gonna put the telephone number here. So next, have you used any other phone numbers in the last 5 years? So if you can still remember your old cell phone number, even if it's not working, then you can put that in here. But if you can't remember, then you can click no. Next, email address. So provide your primary email address where they can contact you easily for like sending notices or information. Next, have you used any other email addresses in the last 5 years? So if you have, then just click yes and type in your email address here. If not, then click no. Next, for social media provider platform, if you have Facebook, then put your username here. And if you have like Instagram, you can also add another here. Next, do you wish to provide information about your presence on any other websites or applications you have used on the last 5 years? So this is just a yes or no answer. If you click yes, they won't ask any questions, but if you click no, that would be fine. So for me, I would just click no. Next, passport. So this is again about the alien fiance's passport information. Next, passport or travel document type, select regular, and then passport or travel document number, which can be found on your passport's bio page. And passport book number, this does not apply to me. Country, Philippines. Where was the passport or travel document issued? In Cebu. Next, state or province if shown on the passport. So I don't think the province is shown on the passport, so I'm just gonna leave that as blank. Then country, Philippines, issuance date of the passport, and the expiration date of the passport. Next, have you ever lost a passport or had one stolen? For me, no. Next, US point of contact information. So if you're a K1 visa, then your contact information in the US is your US petitioner. So just type in the surname and the given name of the US petitioner, and for the organization name, just click do not know, and for the relationship to you, that would be your US petitioner. Next, for the family information, relatives, this is about the alien fiance's family information. So just type in your father's full name and date of birth. And is your father still living? If you click no, then you have to put the year of death. And if you click yes, then you have to put the address where your father is currently living. Next, is your father in the US? No. And the next section would be the mother's full name and date of birth of the alien fiance. And is your mother still living? Yes. So you have to put the address here. Next, is your mother living in the US? No. Do you have any immediate relatives, not including parents, in the US? So for this one, your fiance, the US petitioner, is your immediate relative. So you have to click yes and put the name of your US petitioner. So relationship to you, fiance, and relatives status, that will be US citizen. Next, fiance or the US petitioner's information. First, fiance's surname or family name, and then fiance's given name. Since it says here you have to include the maiden name, you can write or put the maiden name after the given name. Next, your fiance's date of birth and your fiance's address in the United States. And your fiance's occupation, of course. Next, for the former spouse, family information former spouse, this belongs to the alien fiance. If you have, click yes, or if this does not apply to you, then click no. Next question, this question is for the alien fiance. And if you have children, you can click yes and put all the information in this section. And if this child is traveling with you to the United States. And if this question is not applicable to you, then click no and proceed to the next page. Next, present work, education, or training information. So, for example, if you are currently working, the alien fiance, you can put your occupation, and also you have to put your present employer or school name, and also the address. Of course, include the phone number of the company, country origin, Philippines, and the date when you started working at that company, and the monthly income in local currency. So for this one, this is just an example. This is in Philippine peso. And also briefly describe your duties. Next, previous work, education, or training information. So if you were previously employed other than your present employer, you can click yes and provide all the information in this section. But if this question is not applicable to you, then just click no. Next, have you attended any educational institutions at a secondary level or above? If you did, then click yes and put all the information in this section. Next, additional work, education, or training information. Do you belong to a clan or tribe? No. Provide a list of languages you speak. So you can put Filipino, and also you can add another that's going to be English. Next, the following questions will be answered by yes or no. Just click no if the question does not apply to you. Click yes if the question applies to you. Next, security and background. In this part, all the questions will be answered by yes or no. If the question applies to you, click yes. If not, then click no. Next, for this question, do you have documentation to establish that you have received vaccinations in accordance with US law? For this one, you have to click yes, because prior to your interview, you will receive those vaccinations at St. Luke's Medical Center. Next, again, security and background. These questions will be answered by yes or no, guys. So please read the questions carefully before answering. Next, photo. As I've said earlier that this form needs a digital photo. So starting November 1, 2016, eyeglasses will no longer be allowed in new visa photos. So upload your photo here. So guys, when you go get your 2x2 or US passport style pictures at a local photo studio, don't forget to ask for the digital photo. Ask them to send it in your email or ask them to save it in your flash drive so you can use that digital photo for this form. So let's now upload the photo. This is just an example for you guys. And then click next, upload selected photo here at the bottom. And it says here, photo passed quality standards. Next, continue using this photo, confirm photo. It says here, please note that you may be required to bring a passport-like photo to your interview. Now, this is what the DS-160 looks like after filling out the form and uploading the photo. You can review this and edit if you need to change any information. Now, after you review the information, you can now proceed to the next page, sign and submit. And your application indicates that you are applying for a K visa pursuant to the International Marriage Broker Regulation Act of 2005. You are required to receive a copy of informational pamphlet, and this informational pamphlet is in this link. Just click that. And it says here, we strongly encourage you to print a copy of the pamphlet and keep it with you if your visa is granted and you travel to the United States. And it says here, I hereby certify that I received a copy of IMBRA pamphlet as part of my application packet. Tick the box. I hereby certify that I'm legally free to marry and intend to marry the US petitioner within 90 days of my admission to the United States. Then tick the box. Next, preparer of application. Did anyone assist you in filling out this form or application, I mean? This one's no for me. E-signature, I certify under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America that foregoing is true and correct. So you have to put your passport number and also enter the code as shown on your screen. So if you're already sure that all the information is correct in this DS-160 form, you can click sign and submit. But this one is just an example. I'm not gonna click the sign and submit. But in case if you're not sure yet and you need more time to review the information in this DS-160 form, you can just click save. Your application will be saved in their database for 30 days. So you can go back at this later and review all the information prior to submitting the form. So if you haven't submitted your form, I'm going to show you on how to retrieve your DS-160 application. So first, we are going to select the location, Philippines, Manila, and then we are going to enter the code as shown below. This is actually a unique code every time you enter the website. And retrieve application. And always save your application ID, as I've told you before. And click retrieve application. And answer all the security questions. First 5 letters of surname. For this one, I only put 4 because the 5th one is just a space. And then answer the year of birth and in what city does your nearest sibling live, Bacolod City, and click retrieve application. So yeah, if you want to make changes in this form, you can actually edit this form. And then if you want to go back, just click the back button. But if you're ready to submit, then click the next sign and submit button and print it on one-sided page only and bring this with you during your interview at the Manila US Embassy. And that's it for today, guys. If you have questions, just comment down below, and thanks for watching.